You are now watching The Franchise on the DML Network.
Welcome into the DML Network and another episode of The Franchise. It's your boy Expert, and we are live from the Auditorium Theater here in Chi-Town. We had a great draft day one yesterday, and we're going to recap those here today with the DML experts. But we got some business to take care of first. You know EA Play is coming up in June, and the DML crew will be live in the place to be in Los Angeles, June 9th through the 11th. Tune into the DML Network. We will be your one-stop shop for everything EA Play. We will have a chance to sit down with some other CFM guys, some developers. We're going to try and rub elbows with everybody in Los Angeles, and we got an all-star crew going this year. Y'all subscribe to the channel. Check out the DML Network because we will have everything you need when it comes to EA Play, even the new stuff coming out for Madden 19, so y'all be on the lookout for that. But once again, we are in Chicago. We are live in day two. Draft day one was a success. Had a lot of great players go in the first round, and we're going to talk about some of those all-stars. But you know I don't do these shows by myself, and I'm so glad to have my boy back on this episode. It's the homie H-Speed, a.k.a. Andre. What's up, man?
What's good? Let's go back. It's the franchise.
No doubt it's the franchise. You know we love talking about rookies. And we got someone new to the show. It's the homie King Vitamin and those Jaguars. What's up, King Vitamin?
What's going on, man? Glad to be on.
No doubt. Glad to have you. And last but not least, it's the homie KP, the other KP. The bus is running. You know he's on the show. What's up, KP?
What's going on, man?
Man, good to have you. And guys, we had a great draft. Lots and lots of talent coming out of this draft, guys. And let's start right from the get-go. It's the Buffalo Bills, guys. And he goes out and gets him a cornerback that is just going to be locked down, Mr. Bennett Harrison. Andre, this kid coming out of Clemson, 6'4" at 22 years old, quick development. What is so exciting about Bennett Harrison?
One of the best things that the scouts that I've talked to, even before the draft, they talked about his size from a physical standpoint. He's a physical corner, but he also has the speed to keep up with some of them faster guys. So he likes to press at the line, and he uses his length and his size to defend.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely a big physical corner. But KP, Andre talked on it a little bit. This guy is not a slouch in the speed department. You got 93 speed, 94 acceleration. This guy's going to keep up with most guys in the DML.
Yes, he is, man. I mean, dude has 93 speed. He can cover. He's physical. So he's going to be jamming receivers at the line with that 85 press. And, I mean, just by his size, man, 6'4", 205. I mean, you can play him at corner. You can play him at safety. So he's going to add another element to that Bills defense, man.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Was a great pick by the Buffalo Bills.
And let me say this real quick, Expert. Let me say this.
Ahead, Andre.
The Bills they got a lot of talent in Buffalo, man. They got Bennett Harrison this year. They got Fisher Patterson the year before that. He's a monster in the middle. They got Haynes Callaway.
Yeah.
They got the running back, look, Hamilton. No more fucking excuses, man. You better start winning. You got enough talent.
Yeah, no doubt. The talent is definitely a Buffalo. Is the right user directing that talent? We'll wait and see. But let's move on to number 2 because another cornerback comes off the board, and it's Mr. Dixon Overstreet going to those Tennessee Titans. And if you like Harrison, you got to love Overstreet. Another guy, he's not 6'4", but he is 6 feet tall, still 22, 94 speed, 95 acceleration. Let me go to the homie Vitamin here. We got to see this guy in the Tennessee Titans. We got to see him twice a year. Is this another piece to kind of help that defense slow down these high-powered offenses in the AFC South?
Man, definitely, man. When I saw the pick at first, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think that he would go that direction. But when you pair him up with the safety, the Heisman winner that he drafted, like I believe it was last year, year before last, yeah, that secondary is going to be real serious, man. So we know we got to watch out for them for them Titans, man. They're going to be real serious.
No doubt. He definitely added a great piece in that secondary. But the thing about Dixon Overstreet that I really, really love is that his athletic ability at the cornerback position is going to let him make up for plays where he makes mistakes as a rookie. Andre, how important is that for a rookie coming in for his confidence playing corner, that he knows if he makes a mistake, he's got the athletic ability to make up for that?
Not only does he have the athletic ability, but just like King Vitamin said, he has Harvey George back there covering all type of mistakes. Harvey George is a beast. And when you add Dixon Overstreet to that secondary, I know they traded Giovanni during the offseason. So Overstreet, man, he's real athletic. One thing I can say is that these cornerbacks in this draft, they were all excellent. This was probably the best cornerback draft that we've had. A lot of them was quick. A lot of them was faster than the 40 times would suggest. And he got him a guy in Dixon Overstreet that can pretty much do it all. He needs a little bit more work on man coverage, but it's okay. You know what I mean? He'll get better fast.
Yeah, and he's quick development, so that's going to help him with the XP a little bit. But let's move on to number 3. And the homie Matty Ice and the New Orleans Saints, he actually trades up to get into this third pick. Was a really good trade for him because he knew he had some holes on his defensive line. And KP, he goes out and gets the defensive end coming out of University of Texas, Griffin Rayford. And I was actually in the chat with Matty Ice on draft day as he was in his war room. Texans were in our war room, and we kind of chatting it up on the direction he's going. And he was excited about this guy coming to New Orleans. What is it about Griffin Rayford that just jumps out at you when you look at his attributes?
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, man, everything jumps out. I mean, he's strong, he's fast, and the dude is 6'7". So
yeah,
you're not gonna be able to miss him on the field. You're gonna be like, yo, who's that big fella there? Oh, that's Griffin Rayford. You know what I'm saying? So with the speed, the power move, I think this guy will be a day one starter and help the Saints still, well, I ain't gonna say compete, win that division. You know?
Yeah. Because that's really his division until someone shows us otherwise. But Vitamin, let me ask you about Griffin Rayford here. You and I both know how important it is to have those front four be able to get after the quarterback and cause havoc, to let your back seven play good football. What can Griffin Rayford do for these Saints and changing the way he plays defense where these guys can just get after the quarterback without bringing that blitz?
Yeah, man, he's the type of guy coming in that can, like, win one-on-ones. He don't need the extra guy come and give him any help, anything like that, man. So basically, man, he can just drop his guys back in coverage and let this guy go to work, man. I think he's going to be a real monster for this guy.
Yeah, and I think the big thing about him is this guy's movable. You can move him to the inside, move him to the outside. He's big enough, he's fast enough, he's strong enough that he can play defensive tackle, defensive end. You might even see this guy every once in a while playing a little outside linebacker, but I don't want to give away nothing what the homie Matty Ice is going to do. But a great pickup at number 3. Let's move on to number 4. And it's KP, the other KP, the other KP of those Philadelphia Eagles. And he knew he needed some weapons on that offense. We know that the homie KP is one of those guys that likes to stretch the field and then play balanced football while still making you think about him going deep. And HB, Jorge Rodriguez, another guy coming out of Clemson. Clemson had ballers on both sides of the ball coming out this year. 6'4", 240-pound wide receiver with 93 speed. Is this a Rayshawn McKinnon lookalike coming out of Clemson?
He's not Rayshawn McKinnon. Rayshawn is just a straight blazer. Jorge is more of a AJ Green type, Julio Jones mode, meaning that he got the speed to separate, but he also has the size. When facing Bennett Harrison in practice, man, it was some big major battles between Rodriguez and Harrison, and both of them got better because of it, and that's why both of them got picked inside the top 5. This guy easily right now is going to be a problem to deal with, and I got to see him twice a year, so it's going to be very interesting to see how Jorge Rodriguez helped that Philadelphia team.
Yeah. And KP, does this make the NFC a little bit more competitive? We know the homie KP with the Eagles hasn't had the Madden 18 that he really wanted, but we also know what he's capable of. Does Rodriguez really help the Eagles take that next step?
Oh, definitely, man. I mean, Rodriguez, as my man HB mentioned, is a beast, man. He's that Julio type guy, and he's gonna pair him up with those little fast, shifty guys that he got on the Eagles now. So, I mean, he is he gonna be a decoy? Nah, I think he's gonna get the ball. Then you're gonna have to watch over the top with those fast receivers as well.
No doubt. All right, guys, that is number 4 in the DML draft. We are live in Chicago, going over the first round of DML draft from yesterday. And let's move on to number 5. It's the first quarterback coming off the board. And H-Speed, was this a surprise that Henry Klein was first when we saw some other quarterbacks that maybe were rated a little bit higher, that people had talked about? I mean, Henry Klein is a great athlete. This is an 80 overall. I would love to have seen him being quicker, superstar development. But this is a big quarterback, stand in the pocket and chunk it around. But were you surprised that he was the first one off the board?
I was surprised that he was the first, that not necessarily that Klein was the first quarterback to go, but who selected him. The Raiders, it baffled me. He took Cantwell last year, okay?
Yeah.
And I thought that he was going to roll with Cantwell, especially when he cut Derek Carr at the end of the year. So it was kind of baffling at that. I mean, Henry Klein, the guy is solid, man. He has the throw power. His short accuracy, he's like one of them guys that gets the ball out on rhythm. You know what I mean? And he'll throw them short passes. And that's the type of quarterback that Darkness likes. So Darkness does have that short passing game. So maybe he knew something that we didn't. I was definitely surprised that Klein went at 5.
Yeah. And Vitamin, can you get a little top heavy when you start getting in love with these quarterbacks and you're drafting them one right after the other, and you're really not letting them develop? You're not letting them get into your offense and figure out, how to run your offense and how to be successful in your program, and you start drafting one after another. Can you really put yourself behind the 8 ball, especially when we got high stakes coming up?
Well, yeah, I agree with that to a sense, but I think that Darkness knows what he's doing, man. We know in this league with injuries, it's always to have 2 good, solid quarterbacks. So I guess that's one positive that you can find in this situation, if any. Although I do believe that there was a better quarterback on the board, but I mean, he can't go wrong. Like I said, I think he knows his team, he knows his personnel, and like I said, it's not the best pick, but I mean, I could live with it, So I think it's an okay pick.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys, that was number 5. Let's move on to number 6. We're not going to spend a lot of time on number 6, but the homie HB with the Redskins had to pick him a special player at number 6. We'll leave it at that. But KP, Long McKinney, even as an undrafted rated guy at middle linebacker, has some attributes where he is going to be a good player in a year, maybe not even a year, maybe by the end of this first season. What did you like about McKinney as you look at his attributes?
Hey, man, I really like this special player, man. 85 speed, but what stands out to me about Long McKinney is that hit power, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
90 hit power. Hey, you better cover the ball up unless it's coming out. You know what I'm saying? So McKinney's gonna be a player that he's probably gonna have to work on maybe a year or two to get him in there, or you just throw him out there right now and let him get some experience, man.
All right, HB, tell us, is McKinney a starter for the Washington Redskins?
When you got Trayon Raymond, the guy I took a couple years ago, he's a stud, and we're gonna pair McKinney with him. And both of them, one of them got 89 hit power and he got 90. So they coming downhill and ready to thump.
Yeah, and my only problem with McKinney is a little on short side for a linebacker at 5'11", 238 pounds. But is this a guy, HB, that you see in the defense for the next 5-6 years?
Absolutely, man. I like this guy all along. I mean, I think this is one of the guys that I would have picked him regardless. If I didn't get him in the first round, it'd have been something like if I could have got this guy in the 3rd round or 2nd round, I definitely would have would have scooped him up. We needed another linebacker. We need some more depth in linebacker, and we'll see if he can win the job. But we got a guy in Raymond already. We're running that 3-4, so you got to have plenty of linebackers when you run that 3-4.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, still a good pick. Just proves if you do your scouting, you do your homework, you can find you somebody at the number 6 pick, even if he wasn't rated very high. All right, guys, let's move on to number 7. And we actually have a special guest to come on the show and talk about his pick. It's the owner, the general manager of those Minnesota Vikings, Mr. Nasty Noop himself. All right, Noop, let me bring you in here because if you ask expert, this was the best corner coming out the draft. I know a lot of people were sleeping on Lewis Campbell, but if you look at him, quick development, 94 speed, 96 acceleration. So he kind of compares to the other two that already picked. But here's where I think Lewis stands out. He got 85 man coverage already, 83 zone coverage. What did you like about Lewis when you had him on into the Minnesota for his first meeting?
Well, just looking at his stats, once the combine numbers came out, he automatically became the number 1 cornerback on our draft board. I know a lot of people within the league were excited about Bennett, but for some reason, Lewis Campbell just jumped out to me. Now, in saying that, he was not the number 1 player on our board. We had Jorge number 1 on our board because we felt like we really needed to go out and get a dominant weapon on offense. We didn't expect the Eagles to move up in the draft. And once we saw that he moved up, it kind of, we were kind of nervous. But once he took Jorge off the board, we knew that if Lewis was still on the board, we were going to grab him with that number 7 pick. And I'll be honest with you, we were kind of surprised that he was still on the board at number 7 since so many users in the league love speed. So,
yeah, and here's the one thing that, when you start talking to other GMs about Lewis, compared to the other 2 corners, he's a little on the short side at 5'10". Is that really a problem for a cornerback in Minnesota to be 5'10"? I mean, he has great jumping ability. He's got great agility, a great athletic guy. Did 5'10" ever make you kind of second guess the pick?
No, that never made me waver on him as being the number 1 corner on our board. Like I said, that speed and acceleration. When you're facing guys like McKinnon with the Steelers, or you're facing some of these other quick, short, wide receivers, we needed that acceleration to try to keep up with those guys. And I think that's what we got. Now, in saying that, he is also teaming up with another young corner that we have on the other side with excellent speed as well. So we're hoping that, this is our high-stakes dynamic duo at cornerback, and we got a couple other holes that we need to fill up, leading up in the high stakes. So we're excited to get Lewis in the camp, and we're looking forward to the 2022 season.
No doubt. Great pick by the homie Nasty Noop. Man, appreciate you jumping on the franchise. I know it was a long day yesterday in Chicago. I know you got a long ride to get back to Minnesota to get ready for this next season. Wish you nothing but the best, man. Appreciate you jumping on, talking about your first round pick.
No problem. Thank you.
All right. Now, we're not going to let Minnesota get off the hook. We got to talk. We got to talk, KP. All right, this is a guy you got to see twice a year, Lewis Campbell. Or does this guy kind of make you change your quarterback play, change how you run receivers? You really can't go at this guy very much with that speed and that man in zone coverage.
Yeah, Lewis Campbell, he's nice, man. Some guys may disagree with me, but he could have really been the best cornerback in this class. You know what I'm saying? I know everybody was raving about Bennett Harrison, but Campbell is nice. 21. He's only 21, so he still has time to grow and get into his that Minnesota Vikings scheme. But as far as like being threatened by him, everybody know how the Bears play, man. They don't really throw the ball down the field; they run. So if he can tackle, he's good.
All right, man. That was the number 7 pick. Let's move on to number 8. And it's the homie Mo Booker and those Kansas City Chiefs. All right, King Vitamin. We talked about Klein earlier going to the Raiders. And it kind of was baffling to some of us because you got guys like Kerry Anderson coming right behind him several picks later with that superstar development with all the attributes, even some better than Klein. Did Mo Booker steal the best quarterback in the draft?
Absolutely, man, without question, man. This dude is a stud, man. He kind of reminds me of Oshansky that came out, I believe it was last year. But this guy has all the attributes that you want. He has the throw power, man. He's got the short accuracy, the medium accuracy. He can do it all, the deep ball. So he hit a home run with this pick, man. And this is the guy that I think should have went the first QB off the board. But, hey, sometimes those gems, they just fall to you if you sit there.
Yeah, and H-Speed, Mo Booker's been doing a really, really good job here lately drafting for the Kansas City Chiefs. Is Kerry Anderson the guy that finally helps the Chiefs turn the corner and be successful in the DML?
Yeah, Kerry Anderson is a monster. And see, this is why I wasn't in love so much with the Saints pick. Don't get me wrong, the defensive end is a stud. But with you trading Jameis Winston, you have a big hole to fill. Kerry Anderson was sitting on the board at that point, and I felt like you could have went ahead and got this monster, a young guy that'll take you all the way through to high stakes, and still get a defensive end. Having said that, Kerry Anderson's the best quarterback in this draft without a doubt, and this draft class of quarterbacks was phenomenal, and he was the best of the bunch. So Mo Booker finally got him a quarterback. Let's see what he'll do with him. I mean, hopefully he will progress and not regress. I got faith in Mo Booker to start making some moves. That boy Good's out of the division, so that'll help.
Yeah, definitely some new blood in the division with Bolts coming in. And we hope the homie Knives has a great career here in the DML. But definitely was a great pick at number 8. But let's move on to number 9. And it's none other than the Super Bowl winning Dallas Cowboys, back-to-back champions. Shout out to the homie Hot Tub winning back-to-back championships. And he moves up and gets a top 10 pick again. I guess that's just a broken record here on the franchise. But KP, he goes and gets Bennett Logan, a left outside linebacker with all the attributes you could want. This guy is a quick development guy with 92 hit power. He's already got 83 blocks yet. I mean, this guy's going to fit in with that defense in Dallas.
Hey, Bennett Logan is a monster, man. He's going to be teaming up with the other homies over there. Jalen Smith, who's a monster. And then he had the other guy he selected, I think, maybe last year or the draft
Antoine Bostic.
Yes.
I know him all.
Antoine Bostic. My man H-Speed knows a lot about him. But I like Logan, man. I guess the question to me is, where you going to play? Are you going to keep him at linebacker, or are you going to let him play in some? Like, I think he can play both. So
yeah, I think that's where you got a guy like Hot Tub that understands how to develop players. But he also is, if you watch him play, he also is great about substituting guys, keeping guys fresh, keeping those guys in the green, coming after you after every single play. And H-Speed, this is just another stud in that linebacker core that the Hot Tub and those Cowboys have. Is this another guy to tackle Parent, or is this a guy that's just going to get run over like the rest of them?
It's a terrible pick, man. This dude, I don't know. This dude be coming up with these fucking bums, man. All right, we see him week 1. I'm going to give everybody a blueprint as to how to slow down that offense. I pretty much know what to do. We see him week 1, and we play twice a year, so it's no surprises. But no, Bennett Logan was one of the guys I circled on my draft board. I really liked him coming out of Georgia. The one thing that's impressive about Bennett Logan, to me, the best attributes he has, 86 finesse moves, 84 power moves. He's the best pure pass rusher in this draft. And he goes to the Cowboys, who just won the Super Bowl back-to-back. So, hey, it is what it is. Congratulations on the 2 back-to-backs, but this shit is over with. It won't be a third.
Love that competition in the DML. But let's move on. That is pick number 9 with the Dallas Cowboys. Next up, it's the Baltimore Ravens, and it's our first slow development player taken. King Vitamin, you got a slow development halfback, but if you take away that slow development, this guy has all the attributes to be a great running back. How quickly does he have to get off of that slow development, though, so this guy can be a monster in that backfield?
Yeah, definitely, man. It really don't take too much, man. I wouldn't be too concerned about that slow development. I mean, this guy can win a couple of awards, make the Pro Bowl, and then he's right on top where he needs to be. So that don't really concern me. But the guy's a solid player. I mean, he runs the ball very well. So I think he'll do good in Baltimore, man. So I think it's a solid pick.
Yeah, I like the pick, Vitamin. And you definitely know running backs with that monster you got there in Jacksonville and Leonard Fournette. And this is not quite that big of a monster, but definitely a good pick for Baltimore. H-Speed, you are a guru with running backs. What is it about Roman Herndon that just have Baltimore having to take the guy at number 10?
Man, in the SEC, with all the great defenses in the SEC, Roman Herndon was an outstanding, talent. Everybody knew it. The problem with Herndon was his focus and attitude. That's why he's a slow developing. I talked to the Ole Miss coaches. They loved him, but they said that, sometimes in the locker room, he can be a problem, an issue. So going forward, going into the league, hopefully he's learned from that and he go to Baltimore and just focus on football and focus on getting better.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys, those are the first 10 picks that we had here live in Chicago yesterday with the first day of the DML draft. But we got to talk a little bit about some business that's about to come up in the Dynasty. And it's what we call the high-stakes season, where you play for your next squad in Madden 19. Everything is on the line. Every draft pick that you had, every single decision you've made in a draft, in a trade, and how you develop players, it all comes down to high stakes. H-Speed, how important is high stakes in the DML when you look at every other season we have compared to that 16 games?
High stakes is very competitive. It's very it can be stressful if you let it be, but the key to high stakes is in these years now, like the years 3 or 4 seasons out, building that team, yeah. Making good picks, making good GM moves as far as your cap. But you want to be able to get to high stakes, the season before high stakes, and just blow your load. And what I mean by that, whatever you got to do, whoever you got to get, you need to have some funds available. You need to have some picks available to be able to make that move, to make that last push. So blow your load right before high stakes. All
right, the homie H-Speed giving out some free chicken to the DML community, letting them know. But guys, for those of you not in the DML, high stakes is so important. We get so amped up for this season. And so we got a special hype video we want to play right now. Dion, cue the video. Cannot wait. It is the most exciting season in the DML. It is so much fun. It is dog eat dog. Every man for themselves. There are no friends during high stakes. You got to look out for yourself. KP, are you ready for when it all counts in the DML?
Hey, man, I was born ready, man. I mean, but it don't matter where I finish. Y'all know who I'm picking, so it don't even matter. And I know they're going to be there.
Vitamin, we've been through some high stakes together. Does high stakes, Andre talked about it, can be stressful. Can high stakes be stressful when things aren't going your way? You get a loss here, you get a loss there. How important is this season when you look at it overall?
Oh, definitely, man. You got to really be on your game during high stakes season, man. A loss here and a loss there, lose a little bit of confidence, man, and everything just go out of control. But, you just got to maintain, man, and do what you can, because guys going to be coming at your throat, man, high stakes season. No friends, none of that stuff.
Yeah, no friends. All that friendship stuff out the window. Don't hit nobody's DM. We don't want to hear none of that nonsense. It is cutthroat. All right, guys, let's get back into these last couple picks here. And we're going to go through these pretty quick. But let's start at number 11. And it's the homie Flair and those New York Giants. And he goes out and gets him a wide receiver out of LSU.
A monster. He got a monster.
Derek Falani, talk to me about him, man.
Hey, Falani, that would have been my pick. I definitely love Falani, everything about him. He has the size at 6'1", 221. He has every catch attribute right now. And he got rid of Odell Beckham. This is a way he went back to LSU and got him another monster from LSU and Derek Falani. Good pick by Flair.
A little bit bigger than Odell coming out of LSU with just about the same attributes. Now, he's not as fast, but this guy can jump and get everything. Spectacular catch already at 93. Excuse me. Great pick by the New York Giants, trading back up to get into number 11. But let's move on to the number 12 pick. All right, Vitamin. It's the Colts, and it's Linval Watts, the wide receiver coming out of Oklahoma. This guy is a burner for Indianapolis, and he's starting to add some pieces to give Andrew Luck a couple more chances to be successful there in Indy. What is it about Linval that just scares you as a guy in this division?
Man, his speed, man, you know, the guy is just ridiculously fast, man. He's got the acceleration. He's got all the tools, man. He's a great route runner, man. He's just another guy that we got to deal with in this division, man. So, the Colts, man, they've been doing their thing, putting some good pieces together. And like you said, they got the quarterback, Andrew Luck. So this guy may give me some headaches, man. We're going to keep an eye on this guy right here.
Yeah, we definitely got to watch out for the homie T-Pain, a.k.a. Carl, and those Colts. And we're going to move on to pick number 13, and it just happens to be the Colts again. All right, KP, he picks him up a speed wide receiver, and then in the very next pick at number 13, he picks him a speed at linebacker, Mr. Trenton George coming out of USC. This is a great pick by the Colts. What'd you like about Trenton George?
Hey, I like everything, man. I mean, Trenton George out of USC is a great linebacker, and he's going to tag him up with the homie Ross Fowler, who he drafted a season or two ago. So those two on the same side of the ball, man. Hey, y'all catching his division, man. Better watch out.
Yeah, we already were watching out. T-Pain's been improving every single year. Really, if you look at it, and look, it hurts to say this because the homie in my division, but really, T-Pain had one of the best drafts yesterday. Overall, when you look at these two huge pickups he got at 12 and 13, he addressed two concerns in his football team and addressed them with two great players. Now, I thought both Linval and Trenton both should have been higher than a normal. They should have both been quick with the attributes they got. But two great picks by the homie T-Pain. Can't be mad about those picks. But let's move on to number 14. All right, another linebacker comes off the board, and A-Speed, another great player, Mr. Martin Howry coming out of Georgia. What did scouts love about this guy? Now, I know he was at Georgia all 4 years, a little bit on the high side at 24 years old, but what did they like about this guy coming out of college?
This is absolutely one of the most talented drafts that we had. It's a lot of highly rated players, and this was another one, Martin Howry. He didn't get a combine invite due to some off-field issues.
Yeah.
So he didn't get that invite, but hey, you didn't need an invite. All you had to do was plug in the tape. Every scout, every team in the DML had their eye on the guy, Martin Howry. Just like Bennett Logan. If Bennett Logan was the best pure pass rusher, then Martin Howry was like 1A. I mean, he has 85 finesse moves, 82 power moves, and he has speed coming off of the edge. He run 86, and I think he got like an 88 or 87 acceleration. Yeah. Hey, the Cleveland Browns just picked up a monster to come off that edge.
Yeah, no doubt was a great pick by the homie Houdini. Going to fit in really nice in Cleveland. Hopefully we see Cleveland turn the corner and get him a couple more wins, make a playoff here. We know what kind of talent Houdini has. But let's move on. That is number 14. We're going to move on to number 15. And we already talked about how deep this draft was at cornerback. And King Vitamin, this is another cornerback coming off the board. Another tall cornerback at 6 feet, 91 speed, 95 acceleration. Quadir Gardner coming out of Michigan State. what is it about these big? We start to see cornerbacks a little bit more now, a little bit more athletic, a little bit more speed. What is it about guys in the DML just falling in love with these guys?
I mean, they're the best type of corner to have, man. You know, they normally come with a good press, you know, good strength. You know, they are very good at defending the pass, you know, getting those high lob passes and things like that. So those are the kind of guys you want, man. I have two guys like that, man. But those cornerbacks are being bred like more often now. So you're going to see guys going after those guys, especially with like a lot of the speed that you have at wide receiver in the DML. So I think it's a great pick also, man.
Yeah, no doubt a great pick. Gardner already with that 85 zone coverage, going to step in, be a great addition to the Seahawks day one. All right, guys, that's number 15. Let's move on to pick number 16. And it's the Cleveland Browns again. All right, KP, this is the first free safety off the board, and I had him circled. If he would have fallen to the Texans, he would have been a Houston Texan. Julius Askew coming out of Stanford, superstar development. This is a monster roaming around at your free safety position. What'd you like about Askew?
Hey, man, Askew's going to be a monster as well, man. I mean, earlier he got the homie from Georgia, Howery. So he's building that defense, man, to try to stop, of course, McKinnon over there with the Steelers, you know, whatever. But the guy's superstar. His zone is a little on the low side, but with him being superstar, he can get that up real quick, and then this will be one of those Dre Shaw type of defensive backs, man.
Yeah, definitely got to worry about that guy McKinnon in Pittsburgh, but I think he's more worried about that guy in Cincinnati than he is about the Pittsburgh Steelers, because last time I checked, the homie Addy runs that division and has since Madden 19 came out. So we'll see what the homie does with Mr. Askew back there at free safety. All right, guys, moving on to number 17. And HP, this your buddy Matty Ice. And this is the second free safety back-to-back. And Jamar Calhoun is another one of those guys that just jumps off the page when you look at his attributes. What did Matty Ice like about this guy coming out of Pittsburgh?
I don't know. I thought he needed a quarterback here too. So if you didn't get one at 4, you could have got the guy Brody that went to the Packers. But having said that, Calhoun he's a monster, man. I mean, he got the speed, he got the acceleration, and he's a thumper coming out of Pittsburgh. It's definitely a great pick. And just like KP said, he got to get his zone coverage up, but that'll come because he's a superstar. I just got a DM from Flair. He said that his receiver, his name is the Black Panther. The kid Derek Fellaini is called. His name is the Black Panther. So watch out for
Wakanda,
the Black Panther.
Yeah, he got the Panther out of Wakanda. All right, shout out to the homie Flair, always involved. We appreciate the homie Flair, always willing to help us out on the live show. Appreciate you. But hey, let's talk. Calhoun, just a great pick for Matty Ice. And let me go ahead and give Matty Ice a little credit, because I talked with him quite a bit yesterday as the first round was going on. You know, he had a process. He didn't want to reach for a quarterback. He felt there was going to be some talent later on that he could scoop up or even pick up one with a trade. And so it's about trusting the process. So we'll see what the homie Matty Ice does. We can't knock him. He's been successful in the NFC up there playing either in the NFC Championship or right before it. So we'll see what happens. But let's move on to number 18. All right, guys. HP, talk to me. Talk to me about DeMarco Biakabatuka. Biakabatuka. I said that right the first time out of USC. This is a wide receiver. The attributes are there, HP, except for that slow development.
DeMarco Biakabatuka out of USC was a nightmare to deal with. His speed, he returned punts. He was running. He actually played a little bit of running back for USC as well. He caught bubble screens. He went deep. The problem with DeMarco is that DeMarco sometimes loses focus, and that was the problem. He loses focus, and by him losing focus, he wasn't a student of the game, and that's why he come into the Tampa Bay Buccaneers organization at slow development. We'll see how he progresses from there, but DeMarco athletically, as you can see, he has everything you need to be a top tier wide receiver.
Now, he has that slow development, and he has all the attributes. So we got to get him off that slow development pretty quick. We'll see what Farquhar does with him. But let's move on to the next pick. But before we talk about the next pick, we got a special video we need to play for the homie Farquhar. Dion, go ahead and cue the video.
Breaking news. Today, unpredictable events have occurred across the globe. Who has come to save the day for humanity? Who is this mysterious, mighty hero? Stretch Armstrong. Your stretchable superhero. Stretch him 4 times his size. He becomes bigger than a building. Tie him into a knot. He always goes back to his original shape. Stretch him again and again. Stretch Armstrong. The return only from character. Stretch Armstrong.
That's right. You saw it first. It's the Stretch Armstrong Award, and it goes to the homie Farquhar this year with a unanimous vote when we looked at it, just because of 2 slow development players. King Vitamin, do you ever worry about getting the Stretch Armstrong with your first round pick?
Yeah, that's something that you think about, man. But I normally don't pick in that top 10 or that top 5, so it's not that much pressure like it is on those guys, man.
Yeah, and you know, you and I not really getting no trades. Nobody really hit my DM up trying to get no trades, even though Jadeveon Clowney was on the board the whole offseason. Nobody really wanted the homie. So I'm gonna laugh at everybody when the homie Clowney has 20 sacks this year. But we'll see what happens. But KP, is it on the back of your mind knowing that the Stretch Armstrong Award is out there?
Hey, I'm with Vitamin, man. I don't normally pick this high either, but I'm trying to figure out how long does he stretch, because he had 2 back-to-back picks with slow development players.
He stretches far this year because he got 2 slow development players. Now, I will say this. While the homie Biaka Batuka may be slow, he has all the attributes that you want. And let's talk about pick 19, KP. Parker Pritchett, while he's a slow development, still has 90 throw power. He got 83 speed at quarterback. Has some attributes that you can work with, especially as you're developing the guy to go to high stakes. My biggest problem with Parker is there was other quarterbacks still available that were better than Parker, and we'll look at the guy that went to Green Bay here shortly. But even though they're 2 slow development players, can he still develop these 2 guys to be successful in that Tampa Bay organization?
Well, in Tampa Bay, man, there's a lot of turmoil going on down there, man. But me and Farquhar was actually talking. He told me he was going to pick this guy, but I think he could have went elsewhere, because the guy who he already has on the team in Boyle is better. He's just not as fast. But I mean, what are you looking for your quarterback to do? Run 50 or 60 yards? I mean, Boyle has like 78 speed. This guy has 83. But Boyle has better accuracy,
right?
And better throwing power. So we gonna see how that competition ends up in Tampa Bay, man.
Hey KP, I've talked to some of the players around the Tampa Bay organization. It's a lot of guys in that locker room that are not they don't like Lane Boyle. They're not Lane Boyle fans. Yeah. So I've heard that Lane Boyle might be on the move, and that's the reason why they went out and got a guy in Parker Pritchett. He's more of Coach Farquhar's style, and everybody in the locker room knew that Coach Farquhar and Lane Boyer wasn't on the same page, and it rubbed a lot of the teammates the wrong way. And they got their guy right now, Parker Pritchett. Man, the guy's a mobile quarterback, and we'll see how it progresses from there.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely a guy that fits Farquhar's mold, but we'll see what the homie does with it. I know we'll hear about it very, very soon, what he thinks about the Stretch Armstrong Award. But let's move on. That was pick number 19 with the Tampa Bay Bucks. But let's move on to number 20. And we got the owner of the Jags actually in the building, King Vitamin. Talk to us about Diamond Carson. What made you pick this guy at number 20?
Man, yo, honestly, we couldn't believe that he fell that far, man. I thought this guy was definitely a top 5, top 10 pick. And we just kept watching the draft board and just saying if he fell to us, we was going to take this guy without question, man. He's going to be a real solid player for us, man. He's got very good attributes, good power move, block shit. And him playing against the rookie that we drafted last year, Martinez Critton, man, they're going to be real solid up front. And we got to get some pressure on you because them Texans, man, that quarterback, that Deshaun Watson, man, we can't get no pressure on that guy. And we said the thing we're going to do in this draft is draft some defense, man, so we can get after the quarterback, you know?
No doubt. This guy is scary at defensive tackle, 301 pounds at 6'6", just a monster. And you don't really see big guys at 300 pounds with that acceleration, but 83 is just scary. Once he gets past that offensive lineman, he is chasing down people. Deshaun Watson has already rolled out to the right to get away from Carson, and he is running for his life. But that is a great pick at number 20. But let's move on to 21. And KP, you got to see this guy twice a year. And this is the quarterback I wanted to talk about. Mr. Brody Raggy coming out of LSU, 6'3", 22 years old, 230 pounds, but can just flat out throw the rock with 96 throw power. This is a great pick by John. Shout out to the homie John. KP, what'd you like about this pick? Or what did you not like about this pick since you got to see him twice?
Hey, I like everything about it, man. I mean, it don't matter what John got. We all know where he gonna finish, but let's just stick to the script. But this quarterback, I think will help John 2 times, man. He got 96 throwing power, man. He's pretty much he's decent in the accuracy. He has good speed, and this was the guy that was throwing to Fellaini. That the Giants drafted. So you know he can get the ball out there, and he can produce for the Packers, man.
No doubt, was a great pick. All right, guys, we're gonna actually pause right here for a commercial from the DML Network. Dion, cue the video. All right, man, we appreciate our sponsors, always looking out for us here at the DML Network. But let's jump back into these last few picks we have here. Live from Chicago, we're in the Auditorium Theater where the draft was held. First round was held yesterday. We appreciate y'all tuning in to this show. But let's move on to number 22. All right, H-Speed, you are my running back guru. Let's talk Morris Dupree. Slow development running back. But this is a big guy at 6'3", 235 coming out of Florida State. Will this guy be slow after a couple seasons? We know how the homie tight work is.
I mean, absolutely. The Morris Dupree out of Florida State, he's coming in with low confidence. That's due to an injury that he sustained in the bowl game. He actually broke his foot, so he has to get over that hump. Once he get over that hump, get him into camp. I'm pretty sure he's going to be the guy to replace Jay Ajayi. And we know what the Dolphins like to do. They like to run the football, and this right up Morris Dupree's alley. The guy's a big guy, big, strong guy, can run you over. You know what I'm saying? So this is a good pick, and we just got to see how he progresses with the foot, and if he can get back into game shape by the time the season starts.
Yeah, no doubt. We know how the homie tight work is. This guy will be a contributor for him. We know how he loves to run the rock. Always finding those holes to run through. But let's move on to pick 23. And it's another AFC South guy, King Vitamin. It's the homie Titans and JB. And he goes out, and we saw last year was really heavy with offensive linemen in the first round. This was more of a defensive / wide receiver and quarterback kind of draft. But we're going to start to see a couple linemen here go late to some of these teams that need to shore up their offensive line. And the homie JB goes out and gets Martell Humphrey. Just a great pickup at right guard. Already 82 overall coming out of Ole Miss. King Vitamin, what'd you like about this guy?
Yeah, man, I think he's a solid player, man. He's a balanced right guard. You know, he's got very good strength. He's got nice acceleration, so he can pull, to make room for the running back, man. Just another good pick, man. You know, the Titans have been doing their things, man. Have had some really good drafts, man. And this guy here is just another indicator of how good that front office is doing right there in Tennessee.
Yeah, and already coming in with 84 run block, 85 pass block, and 86 impact block. Just a great pickup by the homie JB. But let's move on to pick number 24. And it is the Cincinnati Bengals. And it is the homie Addy 5. You know, we love the homie Addy 5. Alexander Keaton. All right, talk to me, H-Speed. Alexander Keaton, left tackle, coming out of my favorite college, Wisconsin, 6'4", 315 pounds. What'd you like about this guy?
Scouts loved him, man. They love this guy, man. The guy got great footwork. Was very surprised that he lasted this long in the draft, quite frankly. Alexander Keaton's a day one starter. Plug and play, 81. Hey, you can just plug him in right now and go right to high stakes because he'll be there.
Yeah, and we know how the homie Addy 5 develops players. Is this a guy that anchors his line, though, H-Speed, as we move closer to that high stakes season?
Absolutely. I mean, he's 23, so by the time high stakes get there, it'd be about time for him to come up on a contract. But he got the 89 strength, he got the run block, he got the pass block, he got the acceleration. He's going to be the guy that protects Henry Huey.
Wow. Just a great pickup by the homie Addy 5, who doesn't really need any more help. Let's just hope this guy stays healthy. We know how the injury bug loves the Cincinnati Bengals. But let's move on to the newest user in the Dynasty. Shout out to the homie Knives. He's got the San Diego Chargers. And he goes out and gets him a left tackle, Kirk Bayer. King Vitamin Superstar Development, 6'4", 336. This is an anchor at left tackle. How much would you love to see this guy in Jacksonville?
Yeah, man, this guy was actually high up on our draft board. You know, had we not gotten the defensive help that we needed, man, we was going to select this guy, man. You look at this guy with his strength. He has a great run block, 85 run block, great impact block. I mean, this guy is going to be the anchor of the offensive line, man, for the next 10, 12 years, man. Great pick right there.
Yeah, definitely a great pick by the newest user and those Chargers in L.A. All right, guys, let's move on. Got a couple more picks left. Number 26. It's the homie Andy Forrest that had him a nice little season, KP, but he felt he needed a quarterback to kind of get him over that hump. Did not do well in the playoffs last year. Bounced in the first round. And he's got Brock Stanzi. Matter of fact, I think he got bounced in the second round. But he picks up Brock Stanzi coming out of Georgia. This is a big, huge quarterback, KP, at 6'6", 229. What is it about this guy that made the 49ers just have to go out there and take him at 26?
Yeah, I think when you look at Stanzi, man, coming in at 6'6", that's huge. I mean, he's going to be able to just look over the offensive line, man, and just pick apart defenses, man. You know, Stanzi didn't get much spotlight because of the two headhunters that was on that defensive side of the ball between Logan and Horry, but Stanzi's gonna come in and help the 49ers, man, keep pushing and keep winning some games.
No doubt. And shout out to the homie Andy Forrest there with the 49ers. Just had a baby. Appreciate the homie there with the 49ers. What a great pick for that organization. We'll see what Brock Stanzi can do for the 49ers. Let's move on to pick 27. All right, H-Speed, I always love to hear your insight. The Texans needed a strong safety. Getting a little old in the strong safety. Andre Howe had to go away. And we go out and get Jalen Phelps coming out of Ole Miss. What did you like about this guy going to the Texans?
Another talented guy coming out of the Ole Miss organization. One of the things that you notice about Mr. Phelps is that 88 hit powers. That means if you come across the middle, tiptoeing, he's going to knock the snot bubbles out of you.
Yeah, he is. And he most certainly did in the first preseason game. Great guy.
And he already got basically 80 zones. So those are the things you look for when you're looking for a safety. Can he play zone? Can he play the deep third? Can he play the cover two? He can do that right now. And he also can come down and lay that wood. So Jalen Phelps is going to be a guy that a building block towards high stakes.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, guys, let's move on. That was pick 27. Let's move to pick 28. And here's a surprise, King Vitamin. You know, we had Alex Banta on the show for the Gridiron, and we talked about this young man coming out of Notre Dame. and I really felt this guy was one of the top quarterbacks. And if you look at his attributes, 92 throw power, he got 83 speed, superstar development. This guy is going to be a problem with the Broncos. And I know the co-commish, Tone Dog, was so excited that this guy fell all the way to 28. What is it about Alex Banta that just excites you when you got a guy like this on your roster, Vitamin?
Man, I like his speed, man. I mean, you know, he already has the good throwing power. You know, he has a decent mid accuracy, decent short accuracy, but he has that elusiveness to be able to get out of the pocket and extend plays, man. That's what you always want in a quarterback, one that can't just throw the ball, but one that can extend plays when down crunch time when it's most important, man. You know, he's a superstar player coming out of Notre Dame, man, and I expect to see big things out of this guy right here. Great pick for this late in the draft, man.
It was the steal of the draft, in my opinion.
You
get him at 28, right? You get him at 28. You get a franchise quarterback, a superstar. My man Farquaad and Tampa Bay passed on him, and you know the Broncos are going to send him Christmas cards and cookies
every single year. That's absolutely right. That was pick 28. Let's move on to pick 29. And KP, this your homie Tight Work here. And we saw he picked up a halfback, and then he goes and gets him a right guard to block for him. Talk to us about Henry Walters.
Hey, man, Henry Walters out of Kansas. Hey, he's quick development. I think he's going to come in and be an anchor to that O-line as well. I mean, they already have guys that's 80, 90 overall, but he's going to help get Dupree's confidence up, so he can run the ball, man, and get that foot right. So I think Walters would be a good guy for the Dolphins, man.
Yeah, and already quick development, already has 85 run block. Just a great pickup for already a great user in Tight Work. Good pickup at 29. Let's move on to pick 30. It's the Seahawks, H-Speed, and he goes and gets him a left tackle, Marshall Hines. Really surprised this guy fell all the way to 30. Once again, everybody was going and getting those corners, those wide receivers, those quarterbacks. And so we saw some of these great offensive linemen fall late in the draft. What is it about Marshall Hines that is so got people so excited in Seattle?
He's a winner. Another guy out of Georgia program. When I talked to the coach at Georgia, we had all these great players in Howry and some of the other great players that came in this draft that came out of that Georgia program. The coach said that Marshall Hines was the captain. This guy was the anchor. He sets the tone, and so he's an automatic leader. He's a young guy, but he's a leader. He has the strength. He has the pass block. He got to work on his run block a little bit, but that comes in time. So that was a great pick by the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, especially at number 30. But let's move on to the two Super Bowl participants. We'll start with the loser of the Super Bowl. It's the homie, the name that we will not ever say on the show. But, you know, we love him. We love him still because he in the brotherhood. But we'll just call him 9-9 because that's what he is to me, Mr. 9-9. But he gets a little suspect pick at 31, even though he's quick development. KP, this is another one of your homies. Let's talk a little bit about Mr. Willis Tolbert. A little on the weak side at 70 strength for a right end, although he probably can slide there inside and play defensive tackle. What's the homie 9-9 saying about this guy that he got out of Georgia?
Hey, man, the homie 9-9 was saying he don't know what he drafted with this pick, and I kind of agree with him. I mean, he's quick, but I mean, he was in the shadow of all those talented guys that came out of the Georgia program, man. So, the best thing I can say about him, he's quick, but he's also 24 years old. So,
yeah,
he should be saying I drafted a bum.
Yeah, exactly. Vitamin, I want to go to you one question on Willis Tolbert. Does it ruin your whole draft weekend when you draft a guy in the first round and then you look at his attributes and he is a bum?
Yeah, man. I mean, you know, I'm looking at this guy, man, and I mean, the quick development is really the only thing that really stands out about him. You know, like they said, he's 24 years old. It's not really too much you can do with this guy, man, but hope he can make a Pro Bowl or something like that and, you know, and get better. But, yeah, it makes you feel kind of down after a draft like this.
Yeah, especially after you lose the Super Bowl and then you come back and you don't really add a piece to help you. really doesn't help. But let's move on to the last pick in the draft, and it's the Super Bowl champ Dallas Cowboys, and he gets him a free safety in Emmett Robinson out of Toledo. And this guy kind of was flying under the radar, H-Speed. Talk to us about Emmett Robinson.
Emmett Robinson was a decent guy out of Toledo. He has the speed to play, and he has good zone coverage. And he's going into a program in the Cowboys where he does not have to play right away. So that's going to help him. But and maybe in a couple years he'll be able to take over. But right now he's not prepared or ready for that. But in a couple years he will be. He'll be getting all that free XP. He can be riding that gravy train.
Yeah. And that's where you kind of had that advantage picking at 32, coming off a Super Bowl, especially when you're breeding players like he is in Dallas. But was still a good pick at 32. All right, guys. Those are your first round picks live here in Chicago from our first round yesterday. You've been tuned into the franchise. Just another great episode to hang out with my guys, talk about these first round picks. But let me go around the room and just say thank you to everybody, the homie KP, the other KP, the homie King Vitamin, and my boy H-Speed. Man, appreciate y'all jumping on. Give us your insight about these rookies coming in, how they going to impact the DML, man. Appreciate y'all jumping on. All right, guys, that is the franchise. Don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because we will be your one-stop shop for everything EA Play. That comes around June 9th through the 11th. Your boy Expert will be in the building to talk to the developers, see what we got for Madden 19 with that CFM community. Appreciate y'all tuning in. It's your boy Expert, and I'm out.
The Dynasty Madden League grind in 365.